How about Detroit? You guys, I've been watching a bunch of Detroit.
Clear the right.
Oh yeah, been watching a
So-
lot of Detroit. Cade Cunningham, pretty good. Pretty good. They're not a good team, by the way. They're bad. Last year they were bad and sad. This year they're bad and a little bit more fun. I think that's good progress.
They're bad and make me mad.
Okay.
Are we just we're at the rhyming portion of the
We
podcast?
are.
Yeah, no,
Welcome to the Cat in the
so-
Hat here on the Athletic NBA Show.
I don't know how much more evidence we need that Killian Hayes is not a good NBA player and is not going to be a good NBA player and is bad in ways that
Is he blackmailing the coaching staff?
this is like some message sending nonsense. Like, oh, we want Jaden Ivey to do this, do that. Marcus Sasser can't do this, that yet. It's like, yeah, but they're both better. And this guy isn't going to be a go forward guy for you. I hope you know this. At least if you don't know this, then oh boy. But you've got a high lottery pick who's got massive talent that you're sending a message to by playing a guy who shoots under 40% every year, like under 40% like effective field goal percentage at this point. Even there's been, I think since 81 season, there's been about 25 guys who have started over half their team's game with a below 40% effective field goal percentage. He would be the first guy in about 10 years to do that. And you're saddling Cade with this. You're blocking your other young guard. You're not getting the spacing you need on a team that already is going to struggle for spacing because you're playing Isaiah Stewart, who's done well, but you're playing Isaiah Stewart at the 4 and Jalen Duren, who's been great, but he's not a floor spacer, obviously, at the 5. So this is just sort of, it's early and maybe it'll work itself out, but man, you're not getting your best development reps by saddling talented players like Cade and Asar Thompson.
Alec Burks is playing more minutes than Jaden Ivey.
Now he's been sick. Ivy's been sick the last couple of games. So.
But even when healthy, I mean, Alec Burks, he's a pretty good player. But what are you doing? What's the point?
That's more the question.
Yeah.
What was Detroit's plan coming into the season, right? Like, are we developing young guys? If we're developing young guys, it makes no sense that Jaden Ivey and Saucer aren't playing. It's just not playing enough minutes. Yeah. And it's, we talk about ad nauseum. The most important piece to player development is playing time. And doing the whole, and I get it, Monty's trying to come change the culture and all of this stuff and create all those things and things like that. At a certain point, you got to play your guys. You got to play the young guys, develop them, give them reps, let them put their mistakes on film so you can walk through it with them and all of that stuff. He's not going to prove he could defend in practice because you're not practicing hard enough, because that's simply teams just don't. And it's in that stuff. Like it's a lot harder in that sense. I'm done with Killian Hayes. I've been done with Killian Hayes. I don't understand what they're doing with all of this stuff. I just feel like they are hurting themselves long-term with this whole thing of we're not playing our guys. And Seth, we're hopeful it'll pan out. Talking about the previous guy, DeAndre Ayton and Phoenix, it didn't really pan out and it didn't go well.
And are we kind of looking at DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix sort of redux here with Monty Williams and Jaden Ivey? I mean, it's early and it's very early in Jaden Ivey's career. It's early in Monty Williams' tenure in Detroit, but this is sort of the exact same thing that we've railed against this from Monty Williams. So, I mean, are we looking at repeating?
It's franchise arson. It's franchise arson. It's, fine. You bring a new coach in. You still
hold on. You didn't just bring in a new coach. You absolutely overpaid to bring in this coach.
6 years.
Yeah. But you're not just overpaying by the money you're paying him. You're overpaying by, if it's like, okay, well, this other these other development things that we're trying, we're just done with now. Like, you spent a top 5 pick and top 5 pick salary on Jaden Ivey. And so now you're just going to be like, nope, that's done. We're done with that. We're turning the page on that. It's just like, you can't afford that. You know, if you're a team starting from where Detroit is, that's not a luxury you have to just like, you know, the worst thing that like the worst thing that happens for someone like Ivy is not that they don't discuss, like them discovering he's actually not that good and maybe he's not a go forward piece with them. That's not the worst outcome. The worst outcome is we get to the end of next year when they got to start making decisions on extensions and stuff like that, and they don't know, and they're not giving themselves the chance to know. And again,
well, what we do know is that Detroit brought back Kevin Knox. They signed him today, so you know, just great stuff happening in Detroit. Clearly, they have a vision.
Just another guy to play over Jaden Ivey. Like it's just like that's all we're doing. Like I think I want to go back to Steph's point.
Yeah,
because that's so important. You got to know, right? Like that's the thing. You got to give him the playing time so you can figure out if he's a dude or not. And maybe he's awful. I don't think he will be, whatnot, but maybe he's bad. You don't know right now. And you're going to come to a situation where you got to make a decision. And now it's, do we lose him for nothing? Do we not qualify him? All of these things that you got to decide, and everything that comes with it. You're putting yourself in such an information disadvantage as an organization by not playing him. And I think that's the mistake they're making. And I think it sucks because I think Cade would play so well with him. I think this team, listen, they need to start winning in a way of like, these guys have to learn how to win.
And learn how to not lose, honestly, is a big part of it, right? Like they need crunch time minutes. They need end of quarter minutes. Like they just need to play together. I mean, look, I think we know I don't think we know what Cade is yet. I think Cade is good. I'm not convinced Cade is like this generational guy who's going to uplift the franchise, but I haven't seen enough yet because of the previous couple seasons. He's been in and out. I like Cade a lot. I think the more talent you can put out there, or at least the higher the ceiling. I mean, we haven't even talked about Asar Thompson, who they got to figure out a way to play, right? Like, is he going to be their small ball 5 sometimes? Maybe. I mean, this guy is such a freak athlete, right?
Like having like 6 other centers on the team that they're paying.
We're going to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
But like they have some talented guys. The idea is that you're developing. You need to throw these guys out there together and just see what you got, see what shakes out.
You know what? You know the spot you don't want to end up, and we see this sometimes where a team is just in such a morass where it's just like, yeah, he hasn't been good so far, but we get him out of there. Let's see what we have. And I worry a little bit that Detroit is becoming one of those spots right now, and like maybe the one of those spots right now in the NBA where it's like I don't know, because the ecosystem isn't right.